Hey everyone, and welcome to your C++ example for loops. So as you can see, we have the Hello World program pulled up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, delete our Hello World instruction. I'm going to begin by using our std namespace. This is going to make a few things easier. We're going to be using some helper functions, and we're going to be using strings and cout and stuff like that, stuff that's in this namespace. So I just want to pull that in right off the bat so that we don't have to prefix everything with std. Cool. So what I'd like to do here is I would like to create a program that generates lottery numbers for somebody to play, right? So I don't know whether they're going to be playing the pick 3, pick 4, Mega Millions, which has several numbers. So what I'm going to do is we'll generate a number, and then we'll ask them, hey, do you want to add another number to your total lottery numbers? So we'll start by generating 1, and we'll say, do you want another one? They say yes, yes. You get 2 more numbers. We'll have like a pick 3, and then if they want to go to pick 4, they can generate another one, and so on. All right, cool. So let's begin. I'm going to begin by creating our while loop. And we're going to put our condition here. And I'll open up our scope, and we're going to put our instructions here, right? So I think for instructions, I'll print out, we'll do a cout here. And our instructions will say, do you want another number? Or we'll say, do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers? So that seems, reasonable for a lottery number program. And then what we'll do is we have to create a variable outside of the while loop to, we'll create a char, and this will be, we'll call this one input, and we'll set this to y. And so basically, we'll capture our user input. So if we want, we'll just say yes, no. So we'll say, do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers, yes or y or n for yes or no? And so our input will start out with y initially, because our condition is going to have to say, while input is equal to y, run our loop, right? So I will do a cin here for input, and we will store our input in the input variable up here, and it'll just be 1 character. And so now for our condition, I'll say, while our input is equal to y, then we will run our loop. So let's just test this out. So we will compile it, and let's run it, run our executable. Do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers? We'll say yes. Do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers? Yes. Cool. So this is just going to keep running, and then it'll exit when we say no. Awesome. I am going to put an end line here, just to create a new line every time. Okay, so our while loop is running, so we have our while loop going. Now what we need to do is we need to create a string that will contain our lottery numbers. So we'll create a string here, and we will call this one lottery numbers, and we'll set it equal to an empty string. Cool. So I guess all that's left is to create a lottery number and a random number and add it to the string. So to create a random number in C++, it requires a call to the rand method. And The rand method is unique because it'll generate a number based on the time that you called it or that it was initially initialized. And so it'll basically just generate the same numbers every time, unless you set it with a specific time. So I will, and to set with a specific time, you need to call srand, and you need to put in the time of 0 here. And so this will give us a truly random number. And now down here, we can say lottery numbers. Well, what we can do is we'll create an integer called random number, and we'll set it equal to our rand method call. And this will generate a random number, and it will store it in this integer. Now we want our random numbers to be between, let's say, 0 and 9. This random, this method call will generate a random number that can be really high, though, or it can be all over the place. If we want to create like a bounds for it, so that's only going to generate a random number from 0 to 9, then we can use our modulo operator that we talked about. So we'll call this mod 10. So what this does is it's an arithmetic operator that will basically confine our result to the 0 to 9 digits. And so it does that by dividing whatever number we have by 10 and then taking the remainder. And so that will only give us numbers from 0 to 9. You don't really have to understand this. Just know that it'll provide a random number from 0 to 9. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that random number and we're going to add it to our lottery numbers string. And we're going to do that using a plus equal sign. So what the plus equal sign does here, it's an operator, one that we didn't cover, but it basically will take whatever on the left-hand side of it and append it to the string on the right-hand side. And if it was an integer, it would take whatever's on the left-hand side and add it to whatever's on the right-hand side and add it to whatever's on the left-hand side. Okay, awesome. So we're going to we're going to call a toString method, which what the toString method does is it will convert an integer, or it'll convert some number into a string. So we're going to convert our random number into a string, and we're going to append that to our lottery numbers. So what this is going to do is we're going to generate a random number. Let's say, for example, it's 2. We're going to convert that to a string and then append it to our lottery numbers. So now lottery numbers equals 2. We're going to go to our cout and say, do you want to add another number? If they type in y, we're going to do it again. We're going to generate a random number. Let's say this time it's 9. And then we're going to append it to our lottery numbers. Now our lottery numbers will be 2, 9. Then we'll ask the user, do you want to add another number? And then we'll take in another number. Once everything is finished, we're going to print out our lottery numbers. And we'll say, your lotto number is, and we're going to print out our lottery numbers and an end line. Okay, awesome. So let's compile this and see if it works. Looks good. Let's run it. It says, do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers? We'll go, yes. Do you want to add a number to your lottery numbers? We will say, yes. And this time we'll say, no. Your lottery number is 082. So you can see what happened here is that we started out by creating our input of y. Lottery numbers is empty string. We said while our input is y, and it is, we created a random number. We appended it to our lottery numbers string, and then we asked the user, do you want to continue? They said yes. We came to the end of our code instructions. once we came to the end of our code instructions, we checked our condition. The user input a Y for yes. That makes this condition to evaluate to true, so we executed it again. The same thing happened. We generated a random number, put it into our string, asked the user if they wanted to continue. They said they put in a Y. We came to the end of our instructions. We checked our condition. The input was equal to Y, so we ran it again. This time the user put in an N. We checked our condition and said, does input equal Y? It does not, so that returns false. So that exits our while loop. Once we exited our while loop, we came to our last instruction here, which was to print our lottery numbers. Okay, awesome. So that's our quick program for generating lottery numbers. If you actually look on the Mega Millions website, you'll see a Generate Lottery Numbers button. And that's the code for that generation is very similar to this, right? So they wrote basically this program in order to generate random numbers on the Mega Millions website, right? So this is useful stuff. This is probably similar to what's it's probably similar to what's in production for them. So yeah, I hope you guys learned a little bit. Thanks.